It's Jim Biringer, NHLRumors.com. Please smash the notification button, hit the bell, like this video, comment below. Trade activity has continued leading into the NHL draft. Evander Kane goes from the Edmonton Oilers to the Vancouver Canucks, and it's just a string of trades that we've seen over the last little while since the Stanley Cup Finals come to an end. Here on NHLRumors.com, we've been documenting it all, the free agents, the moves, teams winning. How do we break it all down? Well, we got another one. First, we had Mason Marchment going to Seattle from Dallas. Dallas needs to clear cap space. Erik Haula goes from New Jersey to Nashville. Devils need to clear cap space. Andre Burakovsky, Seattle to Chicago, salary dump. Trevor Zegras goes from Anaheim to Philadelphia. Again, as documented, he's not really a Pat Verbeek guy. They didn't really need to do it as a salary dump, but now they have even more money to make a bigger splash, which we will document later on in the Rumors video, who they may go after, a certain Mitch Marner, or maybe a bigger splash than that, but he is the biggest free agent out there. Philadelphia gets a good player, a good young talented player that can play center or wing. And now Evander Kane from Edmonton to Vancouver. And look, the Vancouver Canucks, they needed a winger. Brock Besser is leaving, and we all know it. He's not going to re-sign. They've lowballed him. He's asking for $8 million on an 8-year extension. The last negotiations was tenuous too. So he's leaving and felt underappreciated. They bring in Evander Kane, who can be an effective power forward for this team. Elias Pettersson isn't going anywhere. So if Pettersson's not going anywhere and the market for centers is not there and you're not getting a good return, bolster your lineup. Everybody wants to talk about the drama. It's the drama the Vancouver Canucks brought on themselves. And that's the issue, right? Everybody wants to point to that locker room. It's the Canucks' fault that it got that way. Miller and Pettersson should have never been signed to extensions, 8-year extensions, and then you got to move one of them because you knew neither one got along. But again, winning cures all. Thatcher Demko is out on the market as well, potentially. So what do you do if you want to get back into playoff contention? You bring in a guy that can get you to the playoffs. It's very effective, especially in his first season. He's going to be on his best behavior. Final year of his contract, $5.175 million. They take it on. They still have other needs to take care of. But they get a player that could put up 50, 60 points, could put up 30 goals in a season. That's your replacement for Brock Besser. And as Jim Rutherford said, he's got more than 2 pieces that he needs in his top 6. Well, here's one more that he can add to it. So Evander Kane going to help out Elias Pettersson. That's from the Canucks' point of view. From the Oilers side of things, it's a pure salary dump. They need the cap space. Again, for the second straight year, they don't have any. Teams took advantage of them last year, as we've documented here on NHLRumors.com and on this channel. Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway should have been Edmonton Oilers. They were not. Stan Bowman decided not to offer sheet and match those offer sheets from the St. Louis Blues. Both players were very effective for the Blues, making the playoffs. Both players were effective for the Oilers last year in their run to the Stanley Cup Final. They didn't have that this year, especially when a guy like Hyman goes down in the Stanley Cup Final, before the Stanley Cup Final, I should say. Now, what else are they going to do? Well, Victor Arvidsson needs a new deal and needs to get traded. Besides the new deal part, he's got to get traded. They can't move. They have to move him. No matter what, they have to move him because Bouchard, their defenseman, Evan Bouchard needs a new deal. He needs a contract extension, whether it's 4 years, 5 years, 8 years. Doesn't matter. He's going to get $10 million. Connor McDavid needs a new contract extension. He's eligible July 1st. We've documented it. Where is he going? Could he leave? There's always a small percentage he could leave, but right now all signs point to him staying. Whether it's 8 years is another thing. Could be 4, could be 5, could be 6-year contract. But according to Ryan Rishaug, the two sides are talking. They've met. They're looking at long-term outlook for this team, how McDavid fits into it, what the vision is. Exactly what the Winnipeg Jets did to keep Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuck there for 8 years when there was so much turmoil about them, saying, hey, these guys could leave. This guy could leave. There's so much turmoil. They're out the door. Boom, 8-year contract extensions happen. Now, McDavid, whatever he signs for, is it 16, 17, $18 million? It's not going to be 20 because he wants to win, and that's the big key. So Bouchard, you need a goalie. You need depth scoring. Well, Arvidsson's got to go, and they probably got to move somebody else too. Plus, they want to get another defenseman that's Matthias Ekholm-like. They don't grow on trees. And to quote Craig Button, who was on TSN, there isn't a 7-Eleven hockey store to get you a top 6 center, top 6 winger, and an elite defenseman. They just don't exist. It doesn't exist. So you have to make a hockey trade. So they're going to have to move out Arvidsson, and it goes back to Jeff Jackson last year, right? Handling July 1st, handing out some bad contracts, not taking care of his own players. Maybe the Oilers aren't in this mess. And Stan Bowman goes into a hornet's nest. He had to deal with the offer sheet, the Draisaitl extension, and now we see this. And again, I will point to the Draisaitl extension. If Draisaitl isn't staying for 8 years, if McDavid isn't signing. So if you look at it, and the Oilers need goaltending. Like, where are you going to get a goalie? John Gibson, Elvis Merzlikins? What kind of sweetener do you have to throw in to get an elite goalie, a number 1 goalie? Because that roster's changing up at Edmonton. So a lot of movement has happened already in the National Hockey League heading into the NHL draft. A lot of rumblings out there as well. We'll get to that in another video. But the Oilers make their first move of this offseason to free up a little bit cap space. They still need to make a couple of more moves for the pieces that they need. Vancouver needs a couple of more pieces as well. But we just dissected the Evander Kane trade to Vancouver from Edmonton. Jim Biringer, NHLRumors.com. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll be back again real soon.